the first actual wrestling match on this program was the mixed tag team match between Brody King and Julia Hart versus Edge and Willow Nightingale. And so it's come to this that Edge, one of the more prominent stars of the last 20 years in the wrestling industry, has come to this company, and he's in mixed tag team matches within 6 months. And Edge got in the ring and saw immediately on the screen, he's the first one in the ring. He didn't come out with his partner, I guess. Willow Nightingale gets to enter after Edge. And Brody and Julia, for that matter, in the overall scheme of this. But it wouldn't work otherwise, would it? That he looks up on the screen, and in the back, Willow has been attacked. That should be some kind of fucking meme. Attacked in the back. If you know, it could happen to you at any time. Attacked in the back. But they hit Willow, hit Willow, hit Willow. And she's laying there selling and grimacing, and people are checking on her. And suddenly, Brody King comes from behind and levels Edge, and boom, and just gets him on the floor and beats him up. And they start the match, and it's a handicap match, which, of course, Julia is not going to tag in because I think their rules are still they got to tag in the girls and the girls and the guys and the guys or whatever. Because now are we hearing that Julia Hart is hurt? Try to say that real quick. You don't know anything.
This AEW women's division.
There was a rumor she's hurt.
I don't seek out information about it. I had heard that a while ago. She was in the match. There were lights. They went out. They came on. I don't want to see Edge anymore. As soon as they did the angle, I didn't want to see any of this. They started with the mixed match.
Well, wait a minute. Come on.
Even Willow's music is starting to piss me off. It sounds like a British game show in the 90s. Just awful.
But first, you can't just skip over some of this artistry.
Oh.
But also, you were on the Willow fan.
No, I like her.
Train for a while, and
her music is starting to piss me off. I don't say I have a problem with her.
It's this presentation. It's not that you want to cuss her out as a person.
No, not at all. I think she's good. If I was WWE, I would want to sign Willow Nightingale, but I would give her new music.
And potentially a new name, but we'll get into that. But nevertheless, that's the thing, is it becomes Edge versus Brody King. And Brody King is, honestly, I'm seeing, a small territory, you'd want to have a guy like that around in the old days. A big fucking tattooed, weird looking fucking guy, right? But right now, he's the typical fat tattooed indie guy that tries to do a lot of shit, but he can't throw a punch or a forearm. And it's just bleh. And have we ever heard him speak? Can he? We don't know. He would speak sometimes in the Bohemian Rhapsody video things.
That's right.
But anyway, finally, here's the thing. I wanted to explain what they fucking botched here without even knowing what they were fucking doing. Because now you've got the heel team. And normally this is not in a mixed tag team match, but what they were going for here is the heel team has the advantage numerically 2 against 1, right? And you get the heat going on the single baby face, and he's fighting and he's selling and he's trying to fight back, but finally they're really fucking pummeling this guy, right? And the baby face, he's all fucked up. And at that point, I always like to put in that then the fucking heel would hit a finish on the fucking baby face after they'd really beat him up good, cover 1, 2, and pull him up. And then they look and they said, now he's alone, he's helpless. We're just going to kick the shit out of this guy as long as we want to. And right at that point, that's when the babyface partner that was taken out for whatever reason, stuff thrown at his eyes or hit overhead with a chair, he comes out with an eye patch on or his head bandage wrapped up or fucking whatever. And he runs down and he jumps up on the apron of the ring. And he puts one hand on the fucking turnbuckle or grabs the goddamn tag rope and he reaches the other hand out for the tag and he looks at the people and everybody comes up. And now the people are into it and the fucking guy babyface on the apron is stomping his foot like, come on, Tits McGee, come and tag me. Get the tag and the people get behind. And now the heels see that and they goddamn get frantic. Oh, we got to put this guy away now. Fuck. So they fucking they shoot the baby face off and they go for a big backdrop, but the fucking baby face sunset flips and rolls through and he's on the other side of the ring. And he's got to dive to make a tag, but they pull him back. Oh, God, now the people want him to tag more. And the heels try something else, and the baby face eludes that, gets a little bit closer. And maybe they pull him back again, maybe the third time. They go for the double backdrop, and he kicks one, and small packages the other, and he kicks out, and then he fucking rolls and dives and tags the fucking fresh baby face. And then he makes a big, and that's a hot tag, right? That's why you do that angle, to get that spot. Do you know what they did, Brian?
What did they do?
Willow came down and waving at the people as I was shaking off her injuries, and the people are yelling, and she got up on the apron, and fucking Brody King got Edge in a front face lock, and Edge stuck his foot out backwards, and Willow tagged his foot with her hand.
Oh.
And that was it. That was the tag. Like tagging a foot has ever been a thing that has ever been legal or allowed or even tried or attempted until a few years ago with indie fucking wrestling. And secondly, when she tags his foot, then she gets in and she jumps up on the turnbuckle or the second rope, her ass on a turnbuckle, top turnbuckle, and he lets Edge go of the front face lock and stand, and she double. Yeah, she's big enough. She cross bodies him off the fucking ropes and he takes a bump like he's standing there looking at her. But that was the sum total of the milking for the tag. And she tagged a foot and then came in. And so at the point I was going through this program, Hotchkiss Featherbottom had come over here to pick up signed merchandise going to the fine customers at Cornette's Collectibles at JimCornette.com. And I said, watch. I said, you know the angle where the fucking 2 against 1 and then the baby face comes down for the tag and you start going in the hope spots, right? He said, yes, because he, as I've mentioned before in a previous life, trained in OVW under Danny Davis and Rip Rogers and wrestled for some period of time, so he knows what the fuck is happening. And I said, watch the way they did it. And I hit it from right when fucking Willow came down. And his mouth open. He said, what the fuck was that? So anyway, Julia jumped down to the floor because I guess she's hurt or whatever and they can't get a hold of her. But then, as the referee was distracted otherwise and with 4, Julia came back and hit Willow with a chain. I say, hit Willow, hit Willow, hit Willow, but only in a fashion. Maybe you would say the word barely in the vicinity of her head. And Willow went down like she'd been hit by a fucking boat oar. And Edge and Brody King bumped out. What? What's the matter? What?
I haven't heard boat oar using that.
Have you seen what happens when you hit a motherfucker with a boat oar? Especially if you got a good fucking backswing, so... And Julia put the stretch on Willow because the referee saw nothing and they won. But then Julia wouldn't let go. And here came Mercedes Moon. And she hit the ring. Remember, there's issues between her and Willow. We barely know what they are. She seems reluctant to speak about them. But she hits the ring and Julia Hart bails out. And Edge had completely disappeared. When he bumped out with Brody King for all of this. But then, as Mercedes has the chair in her hand that she's brought with her to chase away the evil Julia Hart, it looks like she's thinning. She's thinning about whether she ought to say something to Willow with that chair. And Edge comes in and she smiles and drops it and shakes hands with Edge, and everybody goes to their respective corners.
Their respective check cashing place.
the fast pay.
Fast pay,
or
that's right.
The cap cash or whatever it may be.
Well, that was a segment, wasn't it?
The hell was that all about? So Edge is now involved in this tomfoolery, and I bet Mercedes is making more money than Edge. What do you think?
Ooh, that's a tough question because I don't know the answer, but I know the way Tony pays.
I bet it's fairly close, but don't worry. Mercedes will somehow bring Edge down to her level before it's over with, so they'll be worth about the same thing. Ay. All right.
I don't want to watch. I wasn't a big fan of him I was happy when Edge came back, and then I hated the Orton feud. Judgment Day didn't really click, and then they kicked him out.
You didn't. I like Judgment Day with him. You didn't.
I didn't.
I remember that I did.
Because he's too actory in his promos. And it's one thing being actory. It's another thing being actory with that Toronto accent that just comes across extra actory. Maybe you should try Second City. I really don't know.
Not extraordinary, but extra actory.
That's right. And you say he's one of the biggest stars of the last 20 years. He was off for 10 of those years.
No, I said one of the more prominent names.
Yeah.
Of the last 20, because the
name Edge was. The name Edge was a prominent name. The name Adam Copeland doesn't mean anything.
Well,
that's the problem. That's part of the problem. The other problem is what he's doing over here. He said it. He wanted to do his dream matches. The Christian feud never clicked. That's the biggest missed opportunity with him there could be. Now he's doing mixed matches as part of an overall feud with the House of Black and their failure to pay the electric bill. I'm sick of seeing him. I'm already burned out on him in AEW. What are they going to do with him that's going to get you interested? Who's he going to work with that you're going to want to see it? It's never a case of, I hope he'll teach someone something. That's unrealistic at this point. You don't go to AEW to teach younger wrestlers how to do things right.
Well, you might, but you ain't going to end up happy with it.